Listeners, this is the first in a new series of feed drops for the Good Faith podcast. We normally share conversations we've generated to encourage you as followers of Jesus, and all of you listen. But today, we're flipping the script and giving one of our listeners the microphone. We're calling these Campfire Stories because we get so many emails about stories of transformation, of listeners putting what you've heard on Good Faith into action. And so we wanted everyone gathered around the Good Faith Campfire to also hear and benefit from these encouraging stories. So join us now for your stories. Welcome to Campfire Stories.
My name's Alyssa, and this is my campfire story. June 24th, 2022 changed a lot of things for people.
Not the church, not the state.
We are coming on the air with big news here in Washington. The Supreme Court has ruled on the future of abortion rights in the United States.
Right now, new laws banning abortion are taking effect in several states, just hours after the court overturned the landmark Roe versus Wade decision.
I think I started listening to the Good Faith podcast on episode 4 or 5. What I really appreciated about it was how it was having a conversation about tough, poignant issues between faith and culture, but the tone is always very respectful and calm. Right around June 24th, I remember there was a Good Faith episode where David French and Curtis Chang were talking about the importance of winning right. That even if you're happy and celebrating the decision, shoving that in someone else's face isn't helpful for building social discourse.
Not very many people actually are thinking about this in truly legal terms right now, Curtis.
Right. Our neighbors, and for many of us, friends and family members, people close to us, are reacting to this with some deep emotional pain.
But avoid this dunking in your face, tribalism, you lost. Avoid that.
Curtis laid out this seemingly very simple challenge of, maybe you have someone in your life who you know is pro-choice and try reaching out to them.
If you are someone who's pro-life Christian, but you have friends, family members who this decision is deeply threatening, deeply upsetting, it is possible to ask, I know this decision is upsetting and troubling to you. How are you feeling? Listening to someone's feelings and affirming their emotions of distress or anxiety is not the same thing as agreement with their position.
As soon as he said that, my stomach just dropped because 2 people immediately came to mind, 2 of my sisters, and I knew that I had to do that, and I really did not want to. We grew up in an evangelical, fairly fundamentalist, strongly conservative political home. They both went through a period of deconstructing their faith. And even though I'd say we all moved and all changed in terms of our social ideas from where we had been growing up, they went much further to the left. I sent them each independently just a very simple message and said, I'm sure this is kind of a difficult time, and if you want to talk about it, you can. I don't want you to think that just because we might have different opinions that we can't talk about something. Sister one fired back very quickly, and she was very upset that I would message her in that way. And it was obvious how any normal, rational person should feel about it. And so if I had to ask, I obviously was not really cued into, the things that truly matter in life. And I just could not figure out how to respond. There were so many things. I was like, which attack should I respond to first? And then I got Sister 2's message. And she said, well, what do you think about it? And I thought, oh, good. Now this is what I would like to respond to. I had written a nice long message of my own, and then thankfully I didn't send it. I just realized, wait a minute. I set out to send this message to try and do what Curtis said, to try and listen to someone with a different opinion. And even though she asked, what did I think? I was the one then filling the airwaves with my own thoughts and words. So I deleted the whole thing, and I sent back to her something like, I want to give you a chance to speak and for you to be able to be the first voice in the room. And if that's something that sounds good to you, then go ahead. And so then she did. And we had a really nice conversation about what she was feeling and thinking about. And I felt so encouraged being able to have that conversation with her that then I returned back to Sister 1. But now I felt that I had a couple keys that I had kind of learned from Sister 2. And so I, again, tried to reply very simply. I didn't respond to any of the personal statements. And I just said something like, thank you for taking the time to share that with me. And I just want you to know that you can say what you need to say, get it off your chest, and we'll go from there. And we also were able to have a conversation that was at least humane. And I think that at least showed we didn't have to pretend that important things weren't happening and that we weren't talking about them. And I think that reaching out has had an impact. Sister 1, who was the angry sister, she reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to come cook Thanksgiving dinner with me? So I went and we did that. And we had a really nice time. And I was thinking to myself, I have to thank Curtis Chang for this. What I learned about listening was that I really needed to practice it. I was not as good of a listener as I thought. I was fumbling my way through listening. And I've just been so grateful that God's been so faithful. After every conversation, I prayed, can I have another chance to try listening again? I think I can do this better.